but my face is frozen. There was a countdown today going 3, 2, 1, and the live video is apparently starting, so let's wait and see. The spinning circle of doom has now left me. It's Wellness Wednesday, and I hope you are well where you are. I'm feeling quite well. Got a few tight spots in my hips and my back, so almost time to head for a massage, I think. And hopefully you got to experience the joys of Halloween on Sunday, and if you didn't, well done as well. So Halloween was something to be avoided before I had children. Now it's something to be embraced. There was a few funny incidences during our Halloween experience. First of all, we practiced our tricks for a good while on Sunday afternoon, having our lunch, and we were all in hysterics laughing. And then we went around our neighborhood, but it was a bit quiet on the Halloween front, so we jumped in our car and went a bit further afield, only to find that busloads of teenagers had already cleaned out all of the participating homes. But at one home, a teenage boy was walking away, having been told there was no treats left in the inn, and he was dressed as a policeman, and he said to my youngest, "Oh, here's a lolly." And she was so excited because a policeman gave her a sweet. So she goes, "Mummy, Mummy, the policeman gave me some lollies." And I was like, "Yes, that's really exciting." And then we came home because we had treats to give out. And every time a busload of people arrived at our front door, the youngest would go running out, "I'll get it, I'll get it, I'll get it." And a few times I went to the door expecting that the people on the other side would say trick or treat, and we would say trick, and they would do something and we would give them a treat. But on pretty much every single occasion that I can remember, they just stood there, not saying anything, not saying hello, not saying trick or treat, not saying anything. And I thought to myself, well, hang on a minute, when did we drop the trick or treating? Because if you're not preparing a trick, you're not thinking about engaging with the person on the other side of the door. You just turn up at a stranger's house, stand there silently expecting them to fill your bag with lollies so you can go home never having interacted with anyone. It struck me as a bit strange, to be honest. So I was still processing that on Monday, and I chatted with one of the dads at school about it, and he said yes, no one was tricking at his house either, and they'd had spent a lot of time learning tricks. So I think for next year they will have to put a sign up saying no trick, no treat, and that will prevent hordes of people arriving at your door begging for food basically and not talking to you. So I'd like to see a bit more tricking for next year personally. And then someone reminded me yesterday it's only 7 weeks till Christmas, and I was like, holy gosh, yes, that's true. So we're fast approaching the meltdown, countdown, not meltdown, to Christmas countdown. And on top of that, we have a 4th birthday to plan in our house, so we are busy discussing the pros and cons for a 4th birthday party, and all of the arrangements that need to be made for that. So it's an interesting few weeks and a very, very, very busy time for a lot of people. So I thought I'd just quickly recap for you on the last few weeks. It was a bit of a roller coaster, not a roller coaster, an express train, let's say, a Shinkansen. My daughter's having her Japanese test today, so I've been practicing Japanese words. Shinkansen, it was a bullet train. So we had Mental Health Week, which was good, opportunity to meet loads of different people, followed by my wellness retreat at Mission Beach, which was amazing. I had 27 other women from around North Queensland gathered together, and the retreat was at Mission Beach, and we did loads of different activities, wellness talks, mindfulness, meditation, fun games, creative activities, as well as physical activities. And what's been wonderful and joyful and exhilarating post-retreat is that the women have continued to support each other, forming a group, encouraging each other, sharing good motivation for each other, and just really, I think the goal for me was that those women went home prioritizing their health and well-being, and I certainly feel that that was achieved. And those women are really raring and ready to go to come back in March and October next year, and to bring their friends as well, which is wonderful. So I have to come up with something special for 2022 retreats. So looking forward to that. And then I went straight from Mission Beach up to Paluma, which is a rainforest on the mountain range near west of Townsville. And I'd never spent much time, or actually I don't think any time there. I'd been to certain parts of that space before, but not quite up as high. So it's very dense rainforest. I had a few close encounters with a few huge reptiles, one very black one, and one very diamond shaped brown amethyst python, I think it was. Anyway, so that was interesting, but the most beautiful part of the week was spending time with 28 children from around North Queensland who were there for Writers' Camp. And I was asked to participate in this to help inspire the children to improve creative writing, storytelling, and the idea was that we produce from this week a published book for them. So that's what we're doing, and that's what we've almost finished doing. And it was beautiful because the children could see how different types of stories are brought to life, different types of books resonate with different people, different ideas can be brought to life in different ways, and now those children are going to have a book with their name in it live to purchase internationally in the coming weeks. So that was super, super exciting for them and also for us, and really a wonderful opportunity to share my skills and my knowledge, and also as a mum to give them some care and attention as well outside of their home. So I did appreciate that opportunity and experience a lot, and it's stayed with me. So it's been a really, really, really good thing to have done. And so I had a very funny conversation with someone a few days ago about how much money I spend on my shopping, food shopping. I do spend quite a lot of money on food shopping, and so it made me kind of reflect on this mentality that we have around what we spend on health care versus sick care. Because even if I can use myself as a little case study in this thing, I used to spend a lot of time going to the doctor. I used to spend a lot of time in hospitals. I have spent throughout my life a lot of time in hospitals, both with myself and with looking after others. And I didn't used to spend a lot of money on groceries in the past, because before I became a mum, I probably spent around £50 a week on groceries, and then I would spend another £100 on lunches and dinners and eating out and stuff like that. But since I've become a mum, I'd say my grocery bill is somewhere between $300 and plus a week for a family of 4. And I don't buy a lot of processed food. I cook a lot from scratch, and I cook a lot of foods that probably are more organic in nature than the cheaper variety of things. So I balance all of that out. But I don't go to the doctor anymore. I don't have any kind of chronic ongoing health conditions. So I wanted to use that example of myself as an opportunity to demonstrate the difference between sick care and well care. And I found this really useful infographic on the internet, which I will share. So sick care is this side and well care is this side. So you can see one of the big disadvantages of sick care is the cost, the dollar cost, versus well care. So here we go. Sick care, what is the difference and why should I care? Sick care is waiting for a crisis, heading to emergency department and relying on specialists. It's reactive, it's damage control. The positives are, well, there's not many. The negatives are increased likelihood of finding serious illness or disease when it's too late for treatment, reoccurring health issues due to lack of continuity of care. In the well side of things, negatives are none, and the positives are continuity of care, better understanding of lifestyle risk factors and health concerns, preventative screenings, diagnosis, potentially avoiding serious illness and health conditions, be more treatable, proactive management of chronic health conditions mean you're better for a longer period of time, which is more proactive and preventative. So in well care we have proactive and preventative, and on sick care we have reactive damage control. The cost of sick care is much higher than the cost of well care, but for me, spending more money on food sits on this side in the well care. So I'm not spending money on going to the doctor and having treatments and having painful medical conditions, I'm spending money on this side of the equation. Because there's a classic saying, if you don't make time for wellness, you have to make time for illness. So even the time side of being ill has a cost associated with it, not to mention the fact that you then can't take care of your family. So we really talked a lot about this in a subtle way in our wellness retreat. But essentially what I think of in terms of wellness, well, it's good nutrition. So what is nutrition? Well, it's food, it's supplements, it's what you're drinking, it's all the things that you're putting inside your body as nutrition. Then it comes down to sleep as well. So if we don't have quality sleep consistently and regularly, we become unwell and we don't realize the impact of chronic sleep deprivation. And at the wellness retreat, I had a book on sleep, 60 tips for sleep, and I showed it to the ladies on the first day, and I said, you know, if you suffer with insomnia or sleep problems, come and have a chat with me. There may be some ideas in this book that you can also incorporate. And literally people were running to the front, scrambling to grab this book to have a look at, and then it disappeared for a while, and everyone's like, where's the sleep book? And we were laughing about that, but it is true. And stress, you know, most of us don't understand how both short-term acute stress and long-term chronic stress plays a massive impact in our health and well-being. And then different kinds of exercise, so, you know, walking, stretching, swimming. There are different kind of exercise that help our bodies in different ways. Jumping, for instance. So now I use a variety of different kind of exercise in my wellness routine, which, you know, I run on most days, I stretch every day, I swim some days, I jump some days, you know, so I'm using a whole cross-section of different exercise, types of exercise to improve my wellness. Today my wellness involves running to my daughter's school, volunteering for her school PE swimming lesson, and running home again. In the middle of the day it will be cool and I will be wet from being in the swimming pool, so hopefully no birds will attack me and it will be fine. So that's how I just try to incorporate wellness and exercise as part of my day and give back to my daughter, and you know, have some positive social engagement with kids throughout my day, which also improves my mood and my well-being. So mindfulness and meditation, and then I think about detoxification. So that's on a body, physical as well as a mental level. So detoxifying our thoughts, keeping our lymphatic system healthy, keeping our environment free of toxins, and just really trying to keep our bodies processing toxins in a very healthy way. And stress produces a lot of toxins, as well as trauma, as well as food and things that we put into our bodies. So understanding how detoxification plays a role. And then healing from emotional trauma, because many people just kind of put on a brave face and get on with it and don't process their grief and trauma and difficult emotions. I watched a really cool documentary the other week which talked about how, you know, if we had a broken arm, we'd go and put a cast on it, but if you've got a broken heart, or you've got a broken, or you're suffering with some terrible grieving situation, or you've been dealing with some long-term emotional trauma, we don't mend it or heal it in the same kind of way. We don't apply the same mental approach or strategies to it. So understanding that as well. And then I'd also think about positive social engagement, because if we have positive social engagement with people in our life as well as people around us, we have a far better chance to have wellness and good health and well-being. So I think of that as a holistic approach to health and wellness, touching on many of those areas, which means you're spending more time on this side of the graphic as opposed to this side of the graphic. So that's really important. So I can very easily justify to myself the size of my grocery bill because I'm not doing all of this other stuff. So yeah, maybe you could too think a little bit about that. So yes, that's just some insights from me. You don't make time for wellness, you make time for illness. That's what we're faced with, the reality of sick care versus well care. So I don't know if you ever heard of a book called The Celestine Prophecy. This is it here. I read this when I was 20 years old. I think it was first printed in 1996 or 1994, something like that. It was first published in Australia in 1994, and I was 20 in like 1997, I think. So was that 1997? No, 1995 I was 20, 1996 I was 21. So in 1996 I read this for the first time, so 2 years after it was first published. And it was an awesome book. And then, you know, I've gone on and lived my life and forgotten about it. But recently I kept thinking about the book and thinking about the book. Oh, I really need to read that book again. I'd like to find that book again. But every time I asked in any shops I went into, they didn't have it, or I couldn't find it. And when I was down in Ellie Beach a few weeks ago, I did the markets, and I went around to a couple of shops showing them my books and said, oh, would you like to stock my books? And I think I had 2 no's, and so I was a little bit dejected. And then I found a tiny little bookshop, and it looked predominantly like a second-hand bookshop, so I thought, well, they're not going to be interested in stocking new books. And I wasn't even bothered about going there, to be honest. But then I did walk past, and lo and behold, this book was sitting in the container at the very front of the shop, and I thought, oh, there's that book I was thinking about. And I picked it up and looked at it, and I put it down. I was about to walk away, and I thought, no, Chrissy, you've been looking for that book. It's this there. Go back and buy it. So I went back to buy the book, and then I physically walked into the shop, and I looked around at all the different sections of the shop, and I thought, actually, maybe they would be interested in my books. So I said to the ladies behind the counter, I'd like to buy this book, and also I'm an author, and these are my books, and I was wondering if you'd be interested in stocking them. And they kind of said, oh, can you come back tomorrow when the owner's here? So that wasn't a straight out no. There was kind of smiling and encouraging. So I thought, oh, okay, cool, I'll go back tomorrow. And when I went back the next day, I said to the lady, oh, I'm not sure if you've seen my books. I left them here yesterday. And she was a bit like, well, we don't really stock books from unknown authors. And when you hear that, it kind of like is a really confronting, and it's also a bit devastating and upsetting. But I had to like reach down and grab my resolve, and I said, well, I'm not exactly unknown. I said, you know, my books are featured in national newspapers and on national radio stations, and they get a lot of local coverage regionally. They are well known. They do sell well internationally. And I said, it's totally up to you. You don't have to buy them, but I did do the markets here, and they did sell very well at the market. So, you know, a lot of people recognize these books. And she was like, oh, okay. And I said, well, you know, you're happy, you can take a couple, you can sell them on consignment, whatever. So she was happy with that. I showed her the books. She was impressed. I left them there on consignment. And then I took a picture of the books, and I said, I'll pop it on social media to let people know that they're here. So I did do that as well. And then lo and behold, what's happened as a result of that, I've been invited to join a children's book club. And that's really cool, because I think, well, as a result of thinking about this book, finding this book, going into the shop, having to pitch myself to be stocked in the shop, tiny little shop, then to have this continuing relationship, and also, you know, opportunities. It just goes to show how coincidences and opportunities sometimes meet at the right moment. And my friend Jan Lees talks about heaven luck, earth luck, and man luck. And man luck is not being afraid to walk into a shop and say, hey, will you stock my books? And heaven luck is, you know, finding a book that you've been thinking about outside. And earth luck is the right people in the right place at the right time. So I guess that's how I would describe this little coincidence for me, because the very first insight that this book shares is about coincidences, and how coincidences align in your life to kind of help guide you in your decision making and your directions. And most times we are spending a lot of energy dismissing our coincidences and telling ourselves, oh no, that's not real, and the logical brain takes over and the intuition gets pushed to the side and we just ignore it. So that was just one special little example for me recently, where I've asked for something. It was delivered to me. I almost walked away from it. Then something nice has come about as a result of me not walking away from it. So maybe worthwhile thinking about that as well. So that was something to share with you, insightful and fun. And then finally, I guess this weekend, Friday night, Saturday and Sunday, I will be in Townsville at the Renegade Handmade Mega Market. It's at Ignatius Park Hall in Townsville. There is so many phenomenal local artists and artisans or crafters or handmade goods or local stockists of different things. So it'll be a brilliant place to do some Christmas shopping if you are thinking about the fact that there's only 7 weeks to go. and you will be helping local people. You will be helping unknown people become known, and you can share their stuff with many other people. So do pop along, even if it's just a browse. I'm sure you'll find loads of awesome stuff there. So thanks for watching today. I hope you are well and taking care of yourself, and I will see you again real soon. Okay, bye.